Oh, I was gonna say before I go, do you have a question before I bounce? 'Cause I got to handle
Yes,
something. Go
like
ahead.
in short, explain what a gynocracy is to me.
A gynocracy, by definition, is ruled by women. Is ruled by women, and I have a lot of pushback not only from black women but also black men that that black women have and have always been in charge of the black community. It is what it is. A lot of my conscious brothers don't like it. They don't want me speaking about it. A lot of my uh, so-called patriarchal brothers don't like me saying it and speaking about it. Women don't like me saying it, even though they know it's true. Black women are in charge of the black community. It is what it is. You can't make it if you're in the conscious community. You can't make no money if you have harsh words for black women. In fact, you can't make no money in the black sector anywhere. You have harsh words for black women because they will economically punish you. Okay, the laws are geared toward them. Uh, white men and white women prefer them over you. Um, just like Black Women's Fear said. Um, if you know you can slap the hell out of your man, but if he retaliates, he's one phone call away from being behind bars. And just because they don't like him, and all they need is a reason, and every black woman knows it. I know it. This has been my mother knew that. Hell, I'm 60 years old. When I was a little kid, my mother knew my father was one phone call away from going to jail, and they would show up and get him. This is well before violence against women. Well before. Yeah, all she had to do was pick up the phone, call the sheriff. They come pick him up. So the women in this community, the women in the black community, um, have power. Um, if you look at if you look at who goes to college more, who's more educated, who's most preferred on jobs, um, uh, um, even looking at the Monahan report, this is Clark talking about the 30s and 40s. Three-quarters of your valedictorians were black women. Um, going back to the Mohawk Conference, they didn't want to teach black men to read. They wanted to educate black women to the fullest extent possible. Okay, they never wanted to teach black men to read. They wanted him to be a laborer. So basically, this country is not geared for black men to succeed. Okay, it's just not. And if you look at your politics, look at what's going on now. The only reason that Barack Obama even became president because his mom was white. Let a black man that has two black parents try to run for president and actually make it. It's not gonna happen. But you can promote a black woman, or really not even an ADOS woman, for president. Shirley Chisholm ran for president, in the 60s, well before a black man ever did. So the black women do control this community, even though um, they don't want to. They don't want to take blame for it. In other words, the buck stops with me. I got control of the community. I need to do this, that, and the other. They want black men to do something. Want black men to do something without the power. The black women really don't want to give up the power that they've acquired over a couple hundred years. I can't blame them. But the thing is, we need to sit down and have a talk. What kind of community do you want to have? Do you want black men to run the community? Then you're gonna have to give up the power. If you want to keep the power that you already have, that you acquired over 200 years, then you have to be responsible for the community. We can't have this. It's all the black man's fault, but he doesn't run anything because black men don't run anything in this community. They really don't. I know this. I know this from the bottom up. Black men don't run nothing. You really cannot do anything in this community, in the black community, without the acquiescence of black women. You really can't. Man, black man can't make a black woman do nothing. I mean, do me nothing. Even with his own kids, can't make a black woman do nothing. And black women know that. I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me.
It sounds it sounds like the gynocracy is like is similar to matriarchy.
Matriarchy. Okay, this is the way it runs in matriarchy, right? Um, they have roles for men and women. Okay, black women are in control of the family. What goes on in the family outside the house? They put black men in power, and they're expected to make rules for the society inside the house, as far as mating and all that kind of stuff. Black women control that. So, in other words, in a matriarchy, if I want to get married to, say, like Bayou Bunny, I gotta go see Mama first. Okay, and Mama don't approve, we don't get married. As far as the
Okay.
finances, I got to go to Daddy. because he controls that. But but a gynocracy is ruled by women. In other words, women make all the decisions or most of the decisions, the majority of decisions, which is different. A matriarchy is not a gynocracy. And the only reason that you have a gynocracy inside the United States is because it's enforced by a patriarchy, which is white men, because white men want to keep black men subdued. So they enforce that. They enforce the subjugation of black men. And that gives black women power. But the thing is, if you want them to admix, if you want the black community to admix, that's why the Monahan Report was actually written. Um, he actually said that black men, the black community and the white community were out of sync because you have a matriarchy or a gynocracy trying to mix in with a patriarchy, and those are two different rules. You can't mix them together. So he said, how do you turn what has been for 150 years a gynocracy or a matriarchy into a patriarchy? And black women rebel. Oh, hell no, we're not giving up our power. It's not going to happen. We're not going to give up our power. So we don't care. If it don't work, it don't work. We're not giving up our power. And I've heard that from people at the bottom to academics. You know, I talk to academics all the time, and they whisper it. They can't even say it. They can't even say it. When we're talking about PhDs, professors that teach people, they can't say it. They know they can't say it because it's suicide. That's like Tommy Curry had to leave because he preached against the gynocracy. So he couldn't move. He had to go all the way to Scotland because he couldn't advance. It is what it is. I'm saying is that's the reality. So I call it how I see it. When I say a gynocracy, I mean basically that's what it is. That's like I can't use my name on YouTube because there's people that I'm associated with in the conscious community that that stuff I say, the harsh tone I use with about black women, that can't be in the black community. It can't be in the conscious community because the black woman will punish them. So I come to YouTube, I say what I gotta say. I say it for a reason, and I let that be that. Now, if I say if you can prove me wrong, go ahead. But all the literature, everything that I ever looked at, everything I ever found, all pointed to the same thing. Now, it's up to black women. What kind of black community do they want? What do you want? You want the men in charge? You got to do something about it. Basically, you're gonna have to start basically preferring your boys a little bit more because in all the other communities, the boys actually push forward. Do you want your son pushed forward in front of your daughter instead of the other way around? Because it's been the other way around for 150 years. If you're gonna do that, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna say, okay, Lakeisha, guess what? Jamal's gonna have to be first at the table. He's gonna have to get the books first. He's the first to have to go to school. He's gonna have to get education. But guess what? He's gonna have to lead the community instead of oh, girl, get your education. Don't worry about no man until you secure your bag, secure your education, secure your job. Okay, you're gonna have to submit to male power. And are black women ready for that? I don't think so. What do you think? What do you think?
I don't think that they are, but I think that there's specific reasons why they're not ready for it.